Hello, hello. Welcome to the Wheel and Chill show. It's a big show today. You want to know why? I think you can guess based on the title of the stream. We got the finale of Rings of Power this past week, like last, whenever, like last Friday or whatever. So I know that these two, I think, have both these two have both watched it twice. So good for them. They like did their research and stuff. Um, and yeah, I think I had it. What's up,
Yeah.
everyone in the chat? We're happy that you're here. Meme Reborn, RIP, Rings of Power Season 1. It's over, baby. It's over. It is
It's
over.
done. And what
So
a finale it was.
what a finale it was.
Yeah.
I, for one, probably had the most fun watching this over all the other episodes. I think this was my favorite. We can talk about that, though. In the
It was
meantime,
pretty damn good.
we're going to start how we always start and just briefly introduce ourselves before we kick off into the discussion about episode 8, since there's only 8 episodes in this season, too, much like the Wheel of Time. Okay, Winespring, why don't you kick us off?
Hey, that's me. I'm Winespring from winespringcafe.com, the Wheel of Time food blog. Go check it out. Make my recipes. They're delicious. I am on Twitter as Winespring Cafe and Instagram as Winespring Cafe. You can find me pretty easy. Come say hey.
To just today, she posted some epic cosplay photos, so don't forget to
Yeah.
check those
Yeah,
out.
go check those out. Give them a like and a share. I'm hoping that the main account, the Twitter of Chaos, will, share them too. That'd be like awesome.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
And you shared some too today,
I
Kritter.
did.
Yeah, she did.
I did. I have
4.
4.
Yeah.
Well, one of them's like me, but it is in a pretty cool
One of
blue.
them's like me.
It isn't in a pretty cool blue.
They're like all
outfit.
you.
Yeah, I guess. One of them it's like more casual, like blue sister, like.
Glad it wasn't somebody else in a picture you posted.
Would that be weird? Yeah.
Oh, it was me.
it was just me, Anyway, so Tavern, why don't you introduce yourself now?
I am Tavern. I do TikToks. I do merch on Redbubble. I'm on Twitter, of course. Have Wheel and Chill merch on Zazzle.
Woohoo!
And yeah, it's me. Make sure you eat her food and make sure you follow. Well, this way. Wait, this way. Yeah. Follow
In there.
It's chaos.
Kritter on everything.
Thanks. As he said, I'm Kritter XD. I'm on TikTok, Instagram. I'm Egwene Alvear on Twitter. I'm also myself on Twitter. I have a Discord if you're interested in joining a Discord. I too have merch. I'm wearing one of my things today. Are you guys ready for this?
Epic.
Yes.
Big dragon energy. I've
Big dragon
got this
energy.
and a few other designs on my Redbubble, and then I have my little logo icon designs, including, don't ignore my lipstick, but including this awesome tumbler and this sick beanie, and those are new creations by Jen. So merch everywhere. We're just having a good time. Also YouTube, obviously, and Twitch. So happy to have you guys all here. MJ Daniel, Hybrid Havoc, Jessica, Random Gnomon, Julie Schultz, you guys are the bomb.com for being here. So
Hello.
Just so you know, that dragon energy is huge. It's huge.
Stop.
It's bigly energy.
I don't want to hear that. It was too accurate. I hated it. Okay. So we're talking Rings of Power, episode 8. I guess my first question is, this is the end of the season, right? So I want to hear from everybody in the chat, and I want to hear from you two. How did you feel about the arc, the season, as a whole, whenever you were, looking at it as just one story? How did you feel? Winespring, why don't you go first?
I loved it.
Yeah?
I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job. I watched The Lord of the Rings, the 3 movies this weekend.
You did?
And
Extended?
I did the extended. It was a full-on lazy weekend. I have a sick husband at home, so we just sat on the couch and watched TV. It was great. So aside from the sick part, of course. So
Right.
I enjoyed the movies even more after watching this season, even before seeing the finale, I think. And or did I? No, maybe I did see the finale beforehand. But it just helped me understand the movies even better. And I appreciated Galadriel's character and her strength even more than ever I did before. Yeah. So I loved it. I was thoroughly entertained.
Excellent. I was too. Tavern, how'd you feel about it?
I think as a whole, I think they knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was everything you want in a show, right? Entertaining, captivating at points. Some twists and stuff. I mean, a story perspective, they killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Just flat out. And granted, I know that your dude bros, your fantasy football dude bros, uh, are gonna be like, oh, they're getting away from the books and women are powerful and all that bullshit that they normally do. They just need to go suck an egg. It was. I wouldn't say it was perfect, but man, it was so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was close. It was really good.
So I've been saying this.
I like how they did the. Oh, sorry.
No, you.
I like how they didn't reveal who Sauron was or who the stranger was, completely yet. Like, I thought it was pretty good writing. I really enjoyed like the mystery of it, and like trying to figure it out and looking for the clues. Yeah, really well done.
Yeah, I kind of bought into that too. Like, I think I thought I knew, like I thought I knew what was going on after a certain point in the season. But actually, Jessica said has kind of the way I was. She said, overall, my standards were pretty low, which was liberating. Didn't have a lot of needs to meet. We'll definitely watch season 2. So I went into it thinking the show is going to be gorgeous because of the budget, right? This show is in a universe that I adore. Okay, so basically for me, like, more content is going to be good for me, unless it's like so bad, like Avatar: The Last Airbender live action movie bad, and then I'll be upset, right? And so it was a low bar. I just wanted it to be cool and fun, and I found it to be cool and fun. I think that some of the plots, like the story arcs, were stronger than others. I cared more about some, like, whenever I was watching the previews, for example, I was obsessed with Galadriel, and that carried over to the season, right? I was like, I want to see what she's up to. And then if we pivot to Elf Boy, which I now know his name is Arondir. No?
Oh, yeah.
Did I do it? Okay. By the end of the season, if we pivot over to him, I'm like less excited. But then at a certain point in the season, he had some epic scenes. And so I think there was a payoff in every plot. I know some people are like, oh, I don't really care about the Harfoots at all. But by God, by the end of it, like, I cried. Like, I cried whenever Poppy was saying goodbye. And the Gandalf reveal for me was like chef's kiss, honestly, because first of all, what?
The Gandalf reveal? I mean,
you didn't like it? What?
They haven't.
I mean, so we're for sure it's Gandalf.
Oh yeah, yes, no. Well, okay. To me, it was a reveal because
I'm 99.9, but I'm not calling it. Not after I fucked up last week.
I'm calling it. It's Gandalf.
I think it's Gandalf too, but just giving me.
So I guess the Gandalf extreme hint when he said, "When in doubt, always follow your nose." I felt like it was this. Yeah. I know there's a lot of content creators out there that didn't want that to be Gandalf, but I loved it. So I was really excited. So yeah, there were some slower parts, like the Numenoreans for me, kind of like the Queen and her plot. Like, I don't really care that much about them as much. They're probably my least favorite plot, but overall, I had so much fun watching this show. I loved being in Middle Earth again. I absolutely adored Galadriel and Halbrand. Yes. By the end of it, that was just, they did that so well that overall I had a really great time and truly enjoyed it and cannot wait until season 2. So
it's almost, it's like, you have Lord of the Rings just like you had the Star Wars movies, right? They've attempted, and some of the Star Wars movies are, we don't talk about the prequels. The other ones were like hit and miss. Rogue One was decent, but it wasn't until, honestly, Mandalorian kicked in that you were like, this is Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
So this is the same thing. You have Lord of the Rings and then this comes out, and they're almost like polar opposites, because Mandalorian is like simplicity at its best. It's simple, scenes and that kind of, and you have the glory that is Rings of Power, but they accomplish the same thing for their franchises. It was incredible. And just to counterbalance with your Gandalf reveal thing, I hate them so much for doing that shit to me in the first 3 minutes of the fucking episode.
So let's talk about this.
Bullshit.
Oh my god.
My Lord Sauron. Did anybody else say, it's not Sauron? Because that was me.
No, I was like, cussing. No way. Yeah. I totally fell for it.
I did not. But that's fun. That's so much fun that it probably got some people.
Fun.
I was like, why? And it's funny because then they cut, and I was like, seriously? why would you put me in this mindset? Why would you put me in this mood right from the get-go? I just wanted to cuss. My wife was sleeping next to me, and I'm like, oh, what? Anyways, whatever.
Also, random Noman. Yeah, Rogue One was really good. What do you mean?
It
Are
was.
you questioning this? Have you not
I don't know if
seen
he's
it?
for or against, or maybe I said decent, and he took offense to the fact that it was better than that. I'm not sure what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
there.
I would say better
Possible.
than decent, in my opinion.
It was. Rogue One was probably one of the better ones.
Guess what? Agni's here already.
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
he just ate, so he's ready. Evil elves are hot, says Hybrid Havoc. You know what?
Evil
Yeah.
elves.
Yeah, I feel ya.
Got a thing for Adar? Is that what's going on there?
I assume so.
Red
That's
Havoc?
the only evil elf we have so far.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of the three witches, or the Sanderson sisters here.
Yeah.
This is actually Hocus Pocus Part 2.
Yeah, this is our three.
Which was
our
pretty
four.
cute.
Hocus Pocus, the second age. So I was completely wrong last week. And I was dead set that these guys, or these ladies here, were Maiar. That maybe was one was Aonwe, and I was like, hell yeah, I found some shit, and I'm a schmo. I was completely wrong. Now, okay, but I do have I do have beef. This I do have serious beef with, because these ladies came from Roon, or where the Easterlings are from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Where the hell
what
were
I
these?
see.
Where were these fire-wielding badasses during Lord of the Rings? They showed up and got smoked quick. Like, actually, they didn't even show up. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas kicked their asses off the boat. With the ghost, and then.
I can tell you where they were during Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, please,
Absolutely.
please, because I'm completely confused.
Dead. They were dead.
Yeah, they were not there.
Wait. So there had to be more than 3.
I don't know.
We don't know yet. Yeah.
I guess I'm not sure. These 3 are a mystery to me as well. Somebody asked me on TikTok, like, so who were they? And I was like, not answering that because I don't know. Like,
No idea.
Shot.
Google seems to think there's a chance that they're from the Cult of Melkor, which is like basically the diehard followers of Morgoth, the main big bad, which is fine. Like, I'm not aware if that was in the Silmarillion. That was a time where I was paying less attention. Unfortunately, I mean, I know he has like a lot of different types of followers. I didn't realize that there were like magic wielding people that aren't the actual wizards that are, you know what I mean? So like these guys confuse me. They did. I'm not real sure where they came from or why they're here or anything like that.
They were here just for the big reveal.
Basically, yeah.
But and I think this was their true forms.
Yeah.
Yeah, they remind me of isn't it like the 9 kings of
race.
men?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The ring race. Yeah, they're very similar, especially the one in the middle.
Yeah, the one in the middle especially looks like it.
Yeah, so I was like, wow, they're revealing their true forms, because we know that the middle one could shapeshift.
Yeah.
Which
was so cool
trippy.
every time.
It was super cool, but kind of trippy.
Yeah, the whole like sinking into the robe thing was like, ooh.
Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
Nori's eyes change or whatever. Yikes.
Oh,
yeah.
Creepy.
I almost got a snapshot of that, but I was like, no, I don't want to see that again.
Pass.
So right after this happens, that's where the moth shows up, right? On the face?
Well, yeah, it turns into a big moth on the middle one's face, and then the rest of their bodies turn into little moths and they fly off, which was freaking cool as shit.
Yeah, so that was another thing that made me think that was Gandalf too, because he kind of deals with moths a lot in the Lord of the Rings movies.
He's a friend of the moths. You're right.
He's a friend of the moths.
Well, I mean, okay, so Kritter already brought up the, follow your nose thing, right? Which is Gandalf from the Mines of Moria, when he couldn't figure out which way to go. You had the middle witch picking him up with the staff and chucking him around. So that was from the Two Towers, reminiscent of the Two Towers when Saruman was tossing Gandalf around.
Yeah, it was. I got a photo of that.
There was the hobbits running in to fight, just like the hobbits did.
They were so brave, you guys.
Yeah, in Lord of the Rings, they were super brave.
I
Who'd have
know.
thought that Sadok was that brave? That's crazy.
Yeah,
Honestly,
he showed up, didn't he?
When he did show up and then he got stabbed, I was like, we'll wait for you. Like, oh,
Yeah.
bitch. You know what I mean? Like, sorry. I felt kind of like mad. I felt kind of like an asshole.
Oh my God, Kritter, no.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Like, they made me
Yes,
so.
Team Critter.
They made me so
One of
mad
us,
that
one of
episode.
us.
I'm sorry. The whole,
Yeah, we'll wait for
Yeah,
you.
we'll wait for you, buddy.
Sassy.
I'm sorry. Like, he was just. He really did turn it around in this season, but they just really they got on my bad side with that whole "we'll wait for you" thing. Like, they were gonna leave him behind. Somebody suggested taking their wheels. Like, nah, man, they're still
They're pretty savage.
they're gonna have to
That's
keep
my-
earning my trust.
Yes.
That's the most favorite thing I've heard you say on any of our shows.
I think so. Like,
Me
you
He
really
came over.
cracked me
He
up.
came over to the dark side, and I'm like, one of us, one of us.
I think Halbrand got me just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
anyways.
And Jessica, yeah, we're gonna talk about that for sure.
What are we gonna talk about?
Also talk about,
Talk about
Galadriel's
Galadriel.
lines where she says,
Mm,
"The pillars of the earth," just like she did in Lord of the Rings.
stronger
where she had
than
that
the
flash-
foundations of
Foundations,
the
yeah.
earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
Wow.
tried to post
Nice.
a TikTok of something like that today, and then TikTok decided I don't get to post TikToks today, so fine. Fine. We'll
Lame.
talk about that
Yeah,
later.
so there were so many throwbacks
Yeah.
just throughout the whole thing. It's incredible. I love every time they do one of those.
Same.
And I'm just So anyways, cool.
It's one of those, like, as I said, I'm into this because I love the Lord of the Rings and Middle Earth. And so every time I see something that reminds me of my literal favorite movies, I'm like, nice. Like, nice.
Yeah.
This is what I want.
Love this. Yeah.
Anybody? Okay, I don't know exactly where they're at. It cannot be the final destination for the Harfoots, and by that I mean, the Shire, because I think they're on the wrong side of the mountains right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
By the time we got to the farewell thing with Nori, they're cutting through. They had already put up roads, fences. They had a bridge. They panned out, and you see the rolling hills. And goddamn, if it didn't look like the Shire,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like the start of what the Shire looked like. So just just amazing.
They're getting there.
I'm wondering if we're gonna see like any more of the Harfoots at all. Like, or do you think that could be it for their storyline? Like, are we gonna get more Poppy? Like, what are they gonna show us with them?
There's two separate factions, or not factions, but I know that some of the hobbits, like we talked about before, go east of the mountain, which is where the Shire gets built, and some stay behind, which is where Smeagol comes from.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm not sure if this is that faction, which I think some of these will branch off, but that'll be much later, I would think. Yeah, it's
But I wonder, like, is the show gonna show us any more?
They
Or
have
is that
to.
kind of?
I feel
You
like,
think so? Like,
yeah, I mean, Poppy
they're
was
Yeah.
like,
separating Nori off. Like,
Poppy made her promise she'd come back, and she promised. So even if it's only like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, where they leave, like at the beginning, and then at the very end come back. I just want to see them by the end of the series finale. Also, thank you for the sub, Andrew Macaluso. I appreciate you. So yeah, I need more Poppy, because Poppy made me
think
cry
there's-
this episode, and I need more Poppy
Yeah.
songs.
she's so
But
sweet.
I don't know if she's gonna show up until the very end of the series. That's what I'm expecting. Is maybe
I
nothing
don't
in
think
At
between.
so.
least by the end.
Yeah.
I don't think so, because they've kind of set her up, right? When Malva was looking at the map and she's like, "Oh, it's all downhill
yeah.
and green grass and no issues." She's like, "You got it upside down." She goes, "Well, maybe you should be the Pathfinder." And Poppy got a smile on her face.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's gonna.
She's got a new role.
Yeah, I think she's gonna have a new role, and I think she's gonna be, because they're too close to Mordor as it is right now.
So we're gonna get some Harfoot, like, orc interaction. That's what you're expecting?
Maybe some Harfoot orc interaction, or and then more traveling. So some more, at least another 300 yards. As somebody pointed out last week. But yeah, I think that there's going to be more Harfoot for sure, because they wouldn't have introduced all those characters and then just taken them out until the end of the series.
Well, it just depends on what they're doing next season. Like, they could focus more on like the Rings of Men, or the dwarves, that kind of thing. Like, we don't know what they're gonna do. They didn't make it clear.
Facts. And I wonder how
Uh,
long it's gonna be until that season. You know, like,
Yeah, I don't
Hopefully
know.
not 2 years or
Yeah,
something
no, that would
crazy
suck.
like that.
I hope not.
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that to Lord of the Rings. Just Wheel of Time. We
No.
sorry. Did I pour salt in the wound? We have a promotion in the chat. Apparently, Julie Schultz has promoted Jessica Sadai to Peril.
She is Peril.
She is totally Peril.
I like that. Also, Alex Lobos, I agree. Nori better go have many adventures and then reunite with Poppy. My heart needs that too. It's basically the equivalent, I think, of like Sam leaving and then coming back and getting married to Rosie Cotton. It's just heartwarming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that was so good.
So good.
It was a really good like
The farewell scene was incredible. Oh, by the way, speaking of the farewell scene, we're adopting that fucking handshake. I wrote it all down.
Oh, you
I know
did?
exactly how to do it.
I literally
Oh, my
thought like
goodness.
I want to
I
learn
wrote it all down. That's gonna be our Wheel and Chill handshake for when we're in person and we greet.
Okay, we gotta learn it.
You just gotta
I
learn.
got it all written down.
It's the
It's
secret code.
freaking amazing.
It was.
Bump heads and hold ears. Then move back, touch hearts, grab hands, interlace the forehead, and grasp the other person's forearm, and then
Look at you go.
I already know
Oh my
it.
gosh. Wow.
Everybody, I think everyone in the chat, everyone who followed along in the Lord of the Rings of Power pivot, and maybe people who come back for Wheel of Time stuff, but definitely you pivot
Maybe.
people. We'll all learn the handshake, so it'll be like this secret society for the what did you guys call it? Not the Chili's, the name for
Chill
the
chat.
The
Chill
chill
chatters.
chat. So all chill chat
Chill chat.
and the Wheel and Chill hosts will all have a secret handshake that we'll all know, and definitely no one in the entire world will know it or recognize it like at all.
It's very secret.
Yes, Julie, it was the handshake that we never knew we needed. It was insane.
Okay,
It
everybody.
was so sweet.
When she's repeating the things.
Oh,
that,
the
that
wheel
he
shake.
yeah, the things that her dad taught her.
That
She's
was
repeating
so
that.
cute. That was.
I was like, oh
cute.
dear Jesus. She goes, Dad, I've been listening to it all. You know, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, my daughter needs to watch this fucking show.
Oh gosh.
Because clearly she did not.
Oh man.
I appreciate Jew Bale letting
Call
us
out.
know that we're ready to begin the stream now. So, guys, we can start.
Yeah, we could probably do that. All right. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
So,
Well, okay.
yeah, go ahead.
I love the part where the stranger, who maybe is Gandalf,
Okay.
is like, I'm good. Like he finally
Yeah.
kind of claims it, and he pushes off like them trying to make him bad, and how Nori like pumps him up like it's the choices you make that make you who you are. You get to decide. Like she's his little cheerleader.
I think the connection between her and Gandalf is reminiscent of Gandalf's connection with like Frodo and Bilbo, and I just again like I
Yes.
love all the ties, the foreshadowing, all of that stuff.
Mhm.
It's a thing that I truly enjoy from this show. It gives me the feels. What can I say? I love it.
Maybe you'll be able to answer this, Critter, since you know everything about Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Good setup, I know. Good setup. So they're going to Ruin. I think it's maybe how you say it. It's in
Roon.
the east,
Yeah,
right?
it's Roon, right.
Roon?
Yeah,
Roon.
I would trill your R like Roon.
There's an
Roon.
H in there.
Okay, they're
It's
going
almost
to Roon.
like Miracle Whip.
Kind of, yeah.
Roon.
Roon. They're going to Roon.
Roon.
Okay, I think you got the point.
Yep, okay.
So they're headed that way. They know it's that because of the 3 people in white telling
Mhm.
him that's where he'll be able to find the star chart stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So what's gonna be there? Like why
Starbucks.
on every corner?
That's
At
everywhere.
least a Starbucks.
That's a good point. It's east. I don't think like I'm literally looking at Den of Geek right now because like I'm not sure. It's really big. That's where elves, dwarves, and men awoke, I guess, during the early days before moving west and
Hey,
forming cities and kingdoms.
You say awoke or
Okay.
are woke?
Awoke.
They
woke up.
Just checking. Just checking.
Dwarven clans had kingdoms through the Third Age there. Let's see. I'm just learning this on the internet right now. That's the Easterlings were loyal followers of Morgoth and then Sauron, which makes me worried because, like, you know,
Yeah.
they're bad guys. They wanted to support Sauron,
Yeah.
and then they're like, come
And they
back
wanted
to
to take
Roon,
him there.
which is the
Yeah, so why go? I
yeah,
guess.
I don't know. Maybe
That's
he
a big
just
question.
wanted to see what was up. I don't know.
Guess
Sauron
as he comes
fled
into
to
his power, he might be less scared. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just Sauron fled to Roon at the end of the Second Age. I don't know, man. I don't know why he would want to go there. Maybe it is Saruman.
And
No,
take
it's
Nori
Gandalf.
with him.
Yeah. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Klaus Olesen says that the Blue Wizards went there. I didn't know
Yes, they
that.
did.
Mm.
Yeah, that's where the 2 blue wizards went and disappeared.
Bruh, I don't know, man.
I didn't know that. Yeah. That's interesting.
Jubail's got a good point. Mainly, it's a place the writers can make news stories. They can do whatever the hell they
There we
want because
go.
there's not a lot
I like
there.
it.
It could be interesting if he meets the Blue Wizards. Everyone was wanting it to be Blue Wizards, or like one of the Blue Wizards. But what if they're in
Yeah.
it? It's just not him.
Maybe they came down one of the fireballs, that struck the planet.
Maybe they were 5 comets. We don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know.
We don't. They haven't clarified yet.
All right. So, are we set with the Stranger's plot, or is there anything else we want to talk about before we move on?
Hmm.
I mean, I'm still caught up on the 3 witches of Eastwick there.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're that damn powerful, which is mind-boggling to me, that they can shapeshift and stuff. I mean, I get that Sauron can because I believe he's Maiar.
Mm-hmm. Well.
I think he's Maiar,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Yeah. I think so.
I've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
seen Gandalf. Yeah, I've never seen Gandalf, Radagast, or any of them do it. So I'm just curious if maybe it's from the unseen world magic.
I
whatever.
think they can. I think they can.
Because they talk about even when they were forging the rings, they were talking about it's a merging of world and the unseen world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe I don't know.
It definitely could be, because like when you think about it, I guess whenever all of their glamours were removed, you got those like decrepit faces, So
Yeah.
maybe that was their.
And the unseen world is where we see Frodo when he
Get stabbed.
Yeah,
right?
that's why
when he puts the ring on.
Right.
Yeah.
But he did get stabbed while the ring was on, so yes.
Yeah. That's why they see him, because he's using the power in the unseen world, and they can see him when he has it on.
Mm.
The 3 witches were Larry, his brother Daryl, and his other brother Daryl.
Yeah.
That's
His
right.
other brother, Daryl.
I wouldn't put it
Yes,
past
Jubail, that's what I was thinking of when I said that Gandalf can shapeshift. Do you not recall do not take me for some conjurer of cheap tricks, whenever he gets really big?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean,
he does.
He does that, and he did it at the beginning. Well, if that's the case, then he did it at the beginning of the show here. The very first time that she came up to him after they found him, and he kind of grew a little bit. But I just thought that might be more of an illusion than a shapeshift, really. But yeah, it's possibly. I guess that's what it is. Yeah. All right, never mind.
I don't know what's going on with his staff, honestly.
Jessica, today.
Yeah, the staff disappeared as
it did. It
when they did,
faded out. Mm-hmm.
So it was.
It's almost like he cast smite on evil, and everything that evil just fucking vanished.
Yeah,
that's okay. And then we got
it
moths.
faded out like a Marvel universe. Oh yeah, the moth was so cool.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you
when
when I saw this, the first thing that came to my mind was it puts the lotion in the basket.
What? Oh, because the moth on the mouth.
Yeah,
yes,
that's the first thing that came to mind, and I was like, oh, that's
creepy.
But it's such a cool image. Look at that shit.
Yeah,
so beautiful.
Random Noman, I thought him changing to white Gandalf was him being spun back out in the pattern, aka whenever Maiar die, their spirit remains, and there's a chance for them getting resurrected by their respective...
I think that's what it was too.
I think so, yeah.
I think he killed the Balrog and died at the same time, and then he was brought back as the White Wizard.
Yeah.
That's
the vibe.
Understanding. That was definitely the vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I could shapeshift from I don't know, if I had to choose between white Gandalf and gray Gandalf, like the aesthetic I'm not sure which
What
one
would
I
it
would
be?
pick. You know, I kind of like the wavy gray locks over the like straighter white locks, kind of.
It was like two different people. I mean, literally, the Gandalf the Grey was very likable. He was very, just a schmo, just kind of walking around doing his thing. When he came back as the White, his posture changed. He was more,
Mhm.
uh,
Rigid.
rigid. Yeah, he was more rigid and stuff. So I don't know if
Mm.
that's just transformation or the rebirth. Just like in this show, see the stranger kind of crumply, but by the time he gets done with the witches there, he's having full conversations and he's got a whole different demeanor, right?
Yeah,
Because he
he
kind of
really did.
remembers who he is,
Yeah.
or he's remembered a lot more at least. So
He
yeah,
stays
but
Gandalf the Grey for a long time too. Isn't this like 1,000 years before Lord of the
long
Rings
time.
or
It's a
something like
long
that?
ass time.
Like his hair
Yeah.
changes color. This is not just some people are trying to be like, oh, Gandalf the White's just a title, but like he changes, man. His hair color's different. He got the box
Mhm.
dye out while he was dead. Okay, or
No hat.
oh, yeah, and the hat.
Where's his
definitely.
hat?
Biggest change. Easily
If you think-
more bigger change
Big
than anything
wardrobe
else.
change.
Think about it though. Saruman the White didn't wear a hat either.
He
Oh.
didn't. It's true.
He
Oh,
also
so
didn't
maybe-
travel. I mean, that was
Yeah, it's true that we know of, right? But I mean, think about it. The new position, probably you have to have a certain kind of, I don't know, dress code. I don't freaking know. I'm going with this, but maybe
His
it's
head
possible.
no longer required a hat.
Anyways,
The
we
sun is
are
reflected off his.
veering
Yeah, we're way
way
the hell
over.
off.
Okay, guys, sorry.
All over the place.
sorry. I agree though that like the White is also a title, but he did change. Like he was different. He was a whole different.
He
vibe.
did.
Okay. Casting
call
call
for
for
White
White Wizard. What am I doing? I got rid of it.
Volunteers tribute.
Okay, so that feels like it's time for us to switch over to
Oh.
what my favorite plot of this episode was, I think, which is Galadriel.
Yeah.
Anybody
yeah.
else disagree with that one?
It was
No,
a
let's
good
move on
plot.
to
I mean,
that.
it's the main plot. I want to say it's the main plot.
Of the whole season, yeah.
I think so.
There was a
maybe.
lot
Yeah.
happening there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the
it's
main plot, and
The
yeah, there
rings
was
of
a lot.
power, and they were making rings of power.
So,
Makes
question
sense.
for those of you who bought in to the My Lord Sauron thing at the beginning of the episode, did Halbrand saying like consider it a gift
Yeah.
make you suspicious of him at all?
Oh hell, we've been suspicious about him forever. But
Well,
yeah.
Winespring, she said that she was. Well, I guess the reveal happened after this. I'm trying to remember when the reveal happened, but like, at what? I guess the best question I could ask is, at what point in the episode did you realize that it was Halbrand and not Gandalf, and not?
It wasn't
the
really
stranger?
realized because I mean we kind of like speculated that it could be Halbrand, so
Mhm.
I was kind of just waiting to see if they were gonna reveal it more than like I knew it was him. Like I didn't know it was him until they told me for sure, just
Okay.
because that's how they wrote it. So, and then I was like, oh my gosh, still. So, 'cause it was good to have it confirmed finally. And then yeah, like looking back over his timeline and all his choices and everything he's said and done, like it's clearly him.
Yeah.
Who's the Watcher character?
The
Is that the stranger that we're talking about?
Watcher?
Or Jessica's talking about the Watcher actor, and I'm like, not. Is that the?
Oh,
we're talking
yeah.
about? What he was called? I thought it was a stranger.
She'll have to clarify, Jessica. You'll
Yeah.
have to
Clarify that,
for us.
Jessica. You can't just be Peril all the time.
She said that's how I took it as a movie watcher only.
Oh.
Hmm.
But then she says, "Can we give props to the Watcher actor for growing out the hair?"
Oh.
Oh, stranger. She meant stranger. She corrected.
Okay.
Okay. You're freaking me
Oh,
out.
yeah,
I was
there
like,
we
what
go.
the hell? Anyway, I think this scene right here that you have on the screen was after the reveal was already taking place. Like we had this whole combination with Half-Brat and Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
Then we had Galadriel doing her research and stuff.
The
So I think they
scroll,
were
yeah,
happening.
she was
Yeah,
looking at
they
the
were doing it
scroll.
simultaneously. She hadn't spoken to him when this happened, but she was already suspicious, and she was suspicious because Celebrimbor said the line that Brad had said earlier in. No, who said that other line? Which is not power of the body or the body, but over power of flesh, but over flesh. Whatever
Oh,
that,
Yeah.
that line is.
I
Yeah.
don't actually know
Adar said that
Yeah, but she heard
when
it
he was
somewhere.
tied up. She heard it
Oh,
from
yeah,
Adar.
yeah.
And
That's
then
right.
when she heard Celebrimbor say it again, she
Yeah.
was like, where did you
Like,
hear
ding, ding.
that?
Yeah, was
Who
he
have you
there?
been talking to? Yeah. I
Yeah, so
thought
that-
Halbrand here showed like some masterful
Range.
communication skills.
Yeah.
Well, he was
yeah,
incredible.
He just like fished in Celebrimbor and just reeled him right in with the way he talked to him.
There's an image. I got an image in there, Kritter, of Celebrimbor just kind of smiling. That's the moment that that Half-Brad was like, "The great Celebrimbor." My master
The
told me-
Celebrimbor?
Yeah, and he went from "Who are you?" to "Well, yes, look at my codpiece."
He's actually me. Yeah.
He's like, "Woo!"
Boy, he loved it. That's what I mean. Halbrand, a master communicator in this scene.
Yeah.
Like he was asked direct questions and just redirected with his responses. Like he just familiarized himself with Celebrimbor so fast.
Oh yeah, and
And he got invited to work on the Rings of Power like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna toot my own horn or pat myself on the back, but I'm going to. I've been saying for episodes while we are still discussing who is who, that the line "I took it off a dead body" was the giveaway. Half-Brad being Sauron. Just putting.
Yeah, he was telling the truth the whole time.
I said he's lying.
He never lied to Galadriel.
He never lied. He told the truth with every freaking thing he said. Yeah, I took it off a dead body. I was like, Sauron. That was all it took. I was like, that son of a bitch.
Man, all those flashes when he gets inside of her head.
Oh my God, those were amazing. That was some amazing acting.
Yeah.
Amazing acting.
They
then
were dark.
And when he yelled, "Look at me," I was like, Harry, stop yelling at Dumbledore. That was
that's
right
funny.
from that movie.
I just got creeped out. It was
the visual.
Oh, I love this image
Yeah,
that you just put up.
So beautiful. Like,
yeah.
Man, this reminded me more of like when Rand was being tempted with Egwene and the baby, like being shown like a different life that, she could have if she decides to, I don't know, partner with him. It seemed like he was trying to like romance her. He wanted her to like be his queen.
Yeah, that's what exactly it was. But here's the beauty that they put into the scene is he was getting angry because he could not sway her, which leads to him not being able to control the elvish rings.
Yeah. But he's not too worried about that because
he's got the men.
His ring is going to control the elvish rings anyways, right?
No. His one ring was supposed to control the wearers of all the rings, but it didn't work on the elves. And if I'm not mistaken, the dwarves their head was too full of the gold and shit, and it didn't work on them either.
So it just worked on them.
On the minds of men, yes.
I think if I remember right, and I could be wrong, somebody please correct me. But I want to say the elves got kind of like wise to the fact that they were exposing themselves to him, and so they like made a pact not to use the rings. They had them, but I don't think they like used them or whatever. I might be wrong about that though. I just vaguely
because don't they need to use them in order to keep the blight for better, I don't know what word to use other than the blight away,
to give them their longevity.
And give them they have to use them somehow.
Well, I think they just had to. There's power that they can use, and that's why they split it into three, right? Because one corrupts, two divides, but three is balance. So that's why they created the 3 rings instead of the 2. And if you notice later on in Lord of the Rings, those 3 rings are with the leaders of the 3 factions of elves. Because
Galadriel gets one, Elrond gets one, and Gil-galad, right?
Critter's Moose Daddy or whatever the guy's name is.
Moose Daddy?
Thranduil.
Thranduil, yeah. Does he gets
the way
ring,
you
right?
say it.
I know. Well, I mean, it's just his name is hot. Like alone, I don't know. No, Gandalf has one. Random Gandalf, you're right. Yeah, it's Elrond, Galadriel, and Gandalf. Thranduil is too much of he's a bit unhinged, I think. Well, at least that was the way he was. So no.
Couldn't
Gandalf
remember if he had it or if Gandalf had it, but yeah, originally it goes to Gil-galad. But then Gil-galad gets one, and then it goes, I think, to Gandalf, Elrond, and then he gets another one. Then that goes to Gandalf. Gil-galad at one point has worn 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken, from what I read. I could be completely wrong on that, but I think he wears 2 of them.
Yeah.
Welcome, random. That'll never leave your head, Moose Daddy. I'm Jessica.
Oh my gosh.
He does have like an
yeah.
antler or helmet or something, which is
Yeah, I'm just saying.
absolutely fabulous.
It's reminiscent of that other shot they keep showing him, you know, where he's like walking in this like dark looking palace with all the orcs around him.
Yeah.
He has this like forked crown on. That's what it reminded me of.
What, this image?
Yeah.
No, this image he's wearing, yeah, this is basically almost, it's the beginning of a Sauron
Yeah.
helm.
It's like his true self, essentially.
Yeah.
It's I like don't want to take it down because I love it so much, but we gotta do this.
Also, there's a whole line of things that are depicted by, you know, with the whole Sauron thing, and we've gotten in little bits and pieces throughout the series or throughout the season, which is Adar, right? Attacked Sauron. We know that's true now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and this is what I'm piecing together. So he attacked him and they got rid of Sauron, and that's why he ran, right? Because Adar was tired of him experimenting on the orcs, which were his children.
Okay.
Up in the north.
Yeah.
And so when he says to Galadriel, you fought by my side, and she's like, we had
against my enemies.
Yeah. It was your enemy and my enemy or whatever. Basically common enemies. It's because he really freaking hates Adar.
Yeah.
Adar really did that shit to him, and that's why he was on the run.
So you think Adar ran off Sauron
He
somehow.
turned the orcs against Sauron. Because in Lord of the Rings, they don't worship Sauron like they do Adar. They're fucking scared of him. Like scared shitless of Sauron.
Yeah.
So I think that's coming, where that confrontation is going to be freaking epic, I think.
So like at the end when he's headed to Mordor, he's about own the situation basically and just take control and rule in fear kind of thing is what you're thinking.
Yeah. There's something's going to happen between those two. It has to. You can't have 2 leaders, right? Especially on the bad side. It's not Star Wars.
It's not, especially not 2 leaders that
So-
hate each other. I just have to call this out first before Oliver's ears.
Okay.
I still think Gil-galad is Gil Gawain's brother. It could be. We never know. You never know. Okay, Wisering, what were you saying?
Okay. So last episode, I think it was last episode, when he was still just Halbrand and he was looking at Adar and he was like, "Do you know who I am?" And Adar said no. Do you really think Adar didn't recognize who he was because of like the image he was putting out there?
I think he.
That's a good thought.
Unless he knew, and then Sauron did something to change it. It was a weird conversation.
Yeah, because he was like, "Did I hurt a woman or did I hurt your children?" Which would be the orcs, right?
Yeah.
So that could have been another jab. So then, if Halbrand and Adar don't like each other, then Halbrand probably wasn't the one who released Adar. Then I'm guessing, or I mean, would he have had any reason to be the one who released Adar?
I don't think that Adar was imprisoned.
When he was tied up.
Yeah.
No. When he was tied up when Mount Doom erupted.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know how he got out of that. Honestly, maybe he just broke out. Who knows?
Like, I was thinking it was Halbrand, but with Halbrand saying we were fighting, it probably wasn't.
Oh, it's definitely not Halbrand. Definitely not Halbrand that let him loose. Well, at least I don't think it is. Because why would you do that, right? You wanted to kill the guy.
Yeah, not if he was an actual enemy.
Yeah.
Not if that's who he's saying is.
Huh.
That's really interesting.
That mystery remains. I wonder if we'll find like if they'll tell us, because it's like so in the past. Although I guess flashbacks are always a good device to like show, like. So hold on, this is what actually happened. Go ahead.
Random Noah saying that Adar hadn't had much blood, so he was weak. Is Adar a fucking vampire?
No, his body could just get weak.
He does kind of look like a vampire.
They do.
They do.
I think
werewolves
do
too.
Vampires.
Yes,
werewolves
I learned
and vampires.
that. I learned that in the Silmarillion too. Yeah. They sure did.
That's so cool.
Isn't that
It's
weird?
just everything.
I know. It's a fun.
I guess I need to add that to my reading list finally.
I agree with
that.
Klaus Olesen. He says he doesn't recognize Halbrand's current form. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Like they Sauron changed into, I think it was Anatar, right? The gift giver. I keep thinking of
Yes.
Sauron.
Sauron.
In like in the actual story, he transforms into a super hot elf. And he kind of like wins everybody over, and that's how he convinces Celebrimbor to do the rings thing, right? Well, that's
Right.
a change. That's just a change. They're
Right.
like, to keep the mystery alive, presumably, or whatever, they changed that. And instead of being, I think it was Anatar, instead of being the Anatar foxy elf, he was the Halbrand sexy man. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like the
Gotcha.
difference.
Yeah.
And so my guess is that's not his like true form or whatever, you know, that's not what he looked like with Adar.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
So
yes.
Adar really did not recognize
Yeah,
him.
okay, everyone's agreeing. Anatar is elven form, Anatar is gift giver, aka sexy
Okay.
Sauron. Yes. So that's basically Halbrand is taking the place of Anatar in Rings of Power. So presumably the mystery could remain for book readers.
We might still get it. We don't know. We might still get it.
We could
if
still get
needs
he
to-
could
yeah.
circle back and be Anatar for the
on
dwarf
himself.
rings. Who knows? You know, who knows? Not
Hey,
me.
Jessica, listen, I'll take Adar as a vampire over any of the Twilight vampires any day.
Well,
Oh, come on.
Just
they're not
putting that out there.
bad.
They don't sparkle.
What's wrong with a little sparkle?
Nothing wrong with a little
Sparkling
sparkle.
vampires.
I like a little sparkle. I read 'em, I
None of
didn't
my
hate 'em.
vampires.
anyways, to me, did anybody else think? Because I, for a second, thought that after Galadriel came back, that she might be Halbrand, like
For a
shapeshifted into
split
Galadriel.
second. Oh, yes.
I was
For
like,
like a
why
split
does she
second.
care about the rings? Like, why does she care about
Yeah.
the rings all of a sudden? And
Willing to give the knife over for the rings too.
what
Like
I'm
that is a huge deal.
yeah, it's like we don't need 2, we need 3. It's like
Crossed
what?
my mind.
You know, like why?
And then later on, she's like staring at the rings, like, "Ooh."
Literally.
And I'm like, okay. For a split second, then they showed him way the hell off, and I was like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I literally said it. I was like, oh my god, she's Sauron. I feel like now it's like I'm trying to think of an equivalent thing in like a show where once something happens that like betrays you or they've kept a mystery alive for so long, you like don't trust anything you see anymore, you know?
Yes,
Oh my
yes.
gosh, Battlestar Galactica is the perfect example because it's literally like they're a Cylon, like you're a Cylon or whatever. Like you think
Oh my
everybody's
gosh,
a
that is a
Cylon.
great example. Yes.
So-
I love that show.
I do too. It's like one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie.
It's one of the best.
Also, Jessica Sedai, it's the skin of a killer Bella. Like, I freaking love
Oh my
Twilight.
gosh.
Growing up, I was a Twilight girly, and so the fact that you just like threw that
Yeah.
quote out, hell yeah, I'm so into it.
Bella.
Anyways,
Let's see, Galadriel's dress in this episode is fantastic. That
It
was
is.
a comment from random
Looks
person,
good.
and I completely agree.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't.
It was
talk
very
about
good
one-
costuming.
We haven't talked about one thing that we need to cover, but yeah, okay, never mind. This has nothing to do with the elves. So we're
Is it just
continuing,
me
sorry.
that like it feels like the different societies in this show have sort of different inspirations fashion wise? So to me,
Oh, yeah.
especially in this episode, I was like, this looks Greco-Roman kind of to me.
Mhm.
Like it's just it, like the
Mm.
elves look very, I don't know, Roman, and then you look
No,
Yeah.
you look at the
Greek.
Numenor.
I would say look Greek. They're like it's like Socrates holding court, except
Right.
he's a freaking
Mhm.
he's a blacksmith.
Elf.
And the
Or an invent-
Southlanders, I could not get over the fact that they were all wearing these, like, it was almost like Norse, like Viking type. You know, they had the, like, bars around their necks. They had apron
Yes.
dresses. Like, all of their stuff,
Yeah.
like, screamed Northern European, like, older Northern European to me. And I'd have to look again at the Numenoreans again, like,
I would say Numenoreans are more Roman.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and then the elves, especially here, are a lot more Greek because they have this open, city-state kind of society
yeah.
Mhm.
going on. I agree with the Southlanders, and then the dwarves are just dwarves. mean,
I just
Yeah.
love the
they're-
dwarves. Like, they're their own deal, man.
I love their armor.
Yeah.
The fact that they have beards on their helms, but their beards stick out from underneath,
Yes.
kills me.
Oh my gosh, Jessica Sedai, so kind. We've got $10 in super
Yeah.
chat. All jokes, nuisance, and peril behavior aside, I've loved this pivot with you guys, so thank you. Hope we do it again soon. Thank you so much. That is so
Yeah.
nice to hear.
Thank you.
We're not getting any new Wheel of Time content. That's not true. We did get a sizzle reel, so like, thank you for that. But
Our
yeah,
next
I
pivot
mean,
is
that
gonna
was pretty
be,
special.
Our next pivot is going to be She-Hulk.
uh,
I'm kidding.
Or peripheral.
Ooh.
I've been watching Black Spot. Have you guys heard of that?
What-
It's on
Oh,
What's that
Netflix.
on?
not
What
yet.
It's
Not
a
yet.
spot?
What
Have
is
you seen
that?
Dark? It's a German show.
Yes, I
Okay.
loved Dark.
Then you will like
I've
Black
not
Spot.
seen it.
It is like a French dark.
Black Spot.
Like I'm not even joking.
writing
Black
this
Spot.
down.
It's like a French dark, sort of mixed with oh my gosh, what is
Sounds like you're talking about coffee right now.
Twin
Like
Peaks?
dark, French dark.
It's like Twin Peaks meets Dark. You have to read
Ooh,
subtitles, but it's
interesting.
worth it. Anyways,
Totally worth it.
thank you, Jessica. I appreciate you so much.
Jessica's the best. She might just get a apparel shirt after all.
Honestly, Jessica, don't feel like you have to answer me right now because you absolutely don't. But I was definitely going to ask you to be a mod in my Discord and on my YouTube if you want. But like, you don't have to respond. It's fine.
You're asking live?
It's fine.
Oh
don't
my gosh,
don't
the
respond.
pressure,
I
the
don't want you
pressure.
to answer because I don't want you to feel pressured. But I literally was gonna do it. So, anyways, okay, bye.
Oh, meme reborn. You know what you're starting, right?
No,
Baby
just not.
shark, doo,
Stop
doo,
it.
doo,
No,
doo,
just.
baby
Oh
shark,
my
doo,
gosh.
doo, doo,
I'm
doo,
not
doo,
a-
I'm gone.
baby
I'm leaving.
I'm not a parent, so like that. I feel like I haven't heard that song very much in my life, and it doesn't bother me.
Ugh.
I'm just like,
Drives me nuts.
baby shark, like I don't.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
I'm sorry. I don't like care. Okay, let's get back to this. Anyways.
So the image you just had up,
Oh yeah. Okay.
or
I'll
Yeah.
go back.
So-
I can
Which one?
that's with Elrond and
Oh, yeah, the three
Galadriel and
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor.
Yeah.
So that's the moment when Elrond comes in. They're figuring out the ring part, and he has the scroll.
Yeah, he does.
So like now, two people know that Halbrand's not who he says he was, and like
yeah.
they don't talk about it on camera, anyways. Like
And
that drove me
well,
nuts.
didn't talk about it because she made him. He's told her. He goes, "I doubted you once. It'll never happen again. I'll never not trust you again." And then when he went to say something to her, she was like, "You made a promise to me," and he was like, "You're making it really hard to keep that." So he couldn't actually ask her about it. So what did he do? He went back to the
Interesting.
fucking river and looked for clues.
Yeah,
Because
and he
couldn't
found
directly
clues.
a-
Shoot.
Yeah, he couldn't directly ask her because he'd made that promise. So he went and looked for clues.
Okay.
The old boy brought receipts.
He did. Like I want to know so bad. Like if
Wait.
they
I
like-
missed the beginning part of that. What promise did he make to her that prevented him
And-
from
okay,
asking her?
so when he sent her off to Valinor,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he goes, "I should have never have sent you. I should have trusted you. It'll never happen again."
Uh-huh.
Then she reminded him that he made that promise to her that he would never not trust her again. So therefore, he didn't ask her directly because he kind of, you know how he is. He makes a promise to somebody, he kind of keeps it.
he
So-
really keeps it. Yeah.
So he just would not ask her, which is why he kind of looked at him. He looked at her and like, God damn it. While she was busy, he ran down back to the river, looked for clues, found the scroll, and yet he still didn't ask her. She
Yeah,
looked at
still
him,
didn't.
looked at the scroll, and they just kind of looked at each other. She looked back to the rings, and he stayed watching her for a minute, and then looked to the rings. Yeah, he definitely did not talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got to talk about it. There needs to be a little more communication.
This is a Wheel of Time problem, okay? Like, come on.
This is a fantasy genre in
I
general
was about to say,
problem.
these guys communicate like crazy.
Yeah.
Communicate all over the place.
Speaking of communication, now I'm gonna circle back to this. Another again. We sort of already showed us the raft scene, but like
Yeah.
Galadriel in this and the direct fold with Galadriel in the Fellowship of the Ring for me was very, very satisfying. It tied the narrative together so well, and it made the show feel like it was a part of the Middle Earth
overall.
extended universe or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Like it fit for me, and it tied things. It's like so many ties have been made between this and the original trilogy that just like this one was another one that I was like, it makes sense that Galadriel had that mild freak out in the Fellowship because she's been like dealing with this
Screwed with
and
before,
and
yeah.
she feels guilty about all of it, you know, and so
for
it's
thousands of years.
it adds layers. She's an onion, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? If we're gonna get in Shrek
Yeah.
references here, like
She is
she's
an
a
onion.
huge onion, and I dug it. Do you guys have any other like thoughts about this temptation scene?
I love how in so many of these moments with Halbrand with the big Sauron reveal, like she has a knife and it's at him. Like she is consistently like going at him with that knife. I thought cool.
Yeah, I agree.
She's always on
Yeah.
the defense.
There was a really cool thing about the water scene here is that she said, "You saved my life," and he said, "No, you saved mine."
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, while they were on the raft before she got to it, what was happening on that raft before she swam to it? Because at the end, I know we've talked about that maybe he controlled the big sea dragon, whatever, because it killed everybody but him and her. It just left. It flat out just freaking left. So everybody else was dead. Right? And
Unless
so
it was all an illusion.
It could have been an illusion. True, and that's the thing. He basically made the water go flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, this was a vision, or it might have been a vision in her head. Either way,
I think
this definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then you see the change when she starts rejecting him. And he's like, look, his eyes actually turned red. Like his eyes.
Oh yeah, he gets
changed.
intense. Yeah.
Yeah, he got super intense, which is amazing because the actor's been pretty good throughout, but this whole scene right here between the two of them was stellar.
It was a light switch.
Oh, beautiful.
Stellar.
Yeah.
He went from good to fabulous. Like just in this episode, in my opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah.
His acting
he came to life.
He did.
His
He
acting,
lit up.
As Jessica would say, or whoever, Julie or Jessica, whichever one that said it, he leveled up.
He did.
He leveled up. He became Sauron for us.
He did. He did.
So, okay, following the theory that 5 fireballs came and hit the planet, could Sauron have been one of the fireballs? Could he have just hit that ship? And then that's how the ship got destroyed. He's there, like perfect timing situation with Galadriel. Is that even a possibility? Am I just
it is possible because it's possible because the 3 acolytes did say, "We've been looking for you. You know, you were cast down."
Yeah, like they were expecting him to come in a fireball. So could Halbrand have come down in a fireball and picked this glamour? I think is what you called it earlier, because it was someone else even on the boat. You know, something like that.
This goes out to Kritter, Klaus, Random, whoever else knows about this. Dar says that he killed Sauron. Right? He flat out says it when he's tied up to the post.
Yeah.
Killed him.
Yeah.
Adar doesn't believe it, but whatever. So, if what you're saying is true, Maiar be reincarnated, right? Would he have his spirit gone back up and then come back down?
And then yeeted back down.
That may be how they're explaining this in this show. I don't know if that's the case in the books. So if somebody knows, I'm not really sure. I think he was just around. I don't think Adar killed him. He was running.
It's an interesting thought, though.
It is. Yeah, it's an interesting thought. I don't know if they would switch that around.
Because the question is, why was he out in the middle of the water? Well, you know, maybe he knew about Galadriel. Like, I don't know. Like, that is a good question. Why was he in the middle of the water? And it would be cool if he came down in the form of a comet. I don't know.
It's my theory. I'm just gonna hang on to that.
I love that. That's
good headcanon. Yeah, absolutely.
It's creative.
I like that. It's creative. We'll go with that.
Sorry. Jubail, about the Halbrand actor, I assume, born to play evil, and Jessica asks, do we think that Galadriel was actually at all tempted?
Ooh, that's tough.
Klaus had a good comment.
She didn't seem like she was tempted to me when she, knew the truth.
Well, but if you go back to the Lord of the Rings, she does her whole, where she said it in the Lord of the Rings first, but she repeats it here. Anyways, she does her whole thing, foundations or whatever.
I mean, he says that
it too, almost
like he's like tempting her with it.
It's almost like she was tempted at one point, just like when Gandalf says, "Do not give the ring to me," right? Because he feels he'll be tempted by it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a possibility that there's temptation there. She fought it, and I think where he fucked up was he turned into her brother, and that was the wrong move.
Yeah,
that's the strongest connection.
Yeah,
that's the strongest connection she has. So, yeah.
I don't know. She has a pretty strong connection to hate in her heart for Sauron. I mean, even Adar called like how much hate she has for Sauron. I
She
mean,
does.
Gil-galad and Elrond sent her away because all the hate she has for Sauron.
But she also
So
had a lot of
that's
love
why
for
I
her
don't think she was
brother.
tempted.
Oh, I mean, it's a
I
possibility.
think for like,
But she knew it wasn't her brother.
I think maybe
at first
she
she
was,
thought she did.
just for like,
Yeah.
just like for 1 millisecond. You know what I mean? Like, we all know she's a good person. She's the good character in all of this, a shining beacon of glory and beauty and majesty, right? I mean, we
And
love
goodness.
and
yes.
goodness. We love Galadriel.
Yes.
But you know, Sauron is a sneaky bastard. Like, it was tempting. Like,
He was trying.
He's like, to me now that
Oh,
I'm,
he was definitely trying.
now that I'm watching this, I find him to be a lot like Lanfear, but more effective. Where in the Wheel of Time, Lanfear's like, we can rule together. We can be the most powerful couple in the entire universe. You know, and Rand, and well, I'm not going to spoil it any more than just like Rand being like, you know, like, fuck off. Like, whatever.
Yeah,
like,
nah.
he's not buying it. Like, Halbrand
yeah.
to me is just, he's smoother about it. He's less unhinged, in my opinion. And so maybe she was confused. Like, I thought we were friends, you know what I mean? Maybe you're not as bad. Because he did kind of try to convince her, right, that like she was making him better. And so for me, maybe she was tempted by that. Like, maybe like he doesn't have to be the big bad. Maybe I can fix him.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I can
That's what
fix him.
I was just gonna go there. It's like, look, you can change me.
Yeah, literally. Go ahead, Winespring, what were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole like, I don't want to be a dark king. I want to be like a king of the light or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I want to bring peace.
like trying to tempt her, like, if you're with me, then I'll be good.
Yeah, you make me better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I said, in the conversation she was having with her brother, and notice how I said brother in quotes. If you haven't seen She-Hulk, you won't get that.
I missed it. I was reading comments.
But I did air quotes. He screwed up a few times. One, and he's trying to tell her in brother form that, Sauron and I had the same mission, which was peace.
Oh, jeez.
Right, to bring peace. That was fuck up number one. Number two, remember what I whispered to you under that tree by the river that day? Touch the darkness one more time. Seriously doubt her brother would have said that. Like,
Yeah.
Feels
not
unlikely. But
But she was aware that whole time that wasn't really her brother.
Yeah.
I mean, she knew.
At first, I think she was a little taken aback, and then she
A little
realized
dazed, maybe.
Yeah, because he pulled her into this whole
like
reality.
fast pulled her into it. Yeah.
I think she's gradually snapped out of it,
Mhm.
and by the time they got on the boat, she really snapped out of it. I think she tried to stab his ass, or she did stab him. That's why he chucked her out again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she got
Yeah,
him
like she was.
shoulder. I'm not sure.
Yeah, she was on it with that knife. I think.
I literally adore her. Like, Galadriel for the
good,
win,
yeah.
man. Although I do hate
Yeah,
how
look at her.
She's
Look
so-
how little she is next to him. I didn't notice that until just now. Like,
that actress is.
she's a good
She
foot
well,
and a half taller.
I guess I need to look up how tall she. Well, anyways, she's a lot.
She might be in
shorter than
a
lot of
fighting
people.
position too. She might be kind of coming from
It's true.
low ground there. Yeah.
Let me actually.
I'm trying to think.
She's so fierce.
Somebody put it in here where they were talking, and she goes, "Who are you really?" She goes, "I was here before the first lie," or whatever. Who wrote that? Somebody wrote
Yeah.
it. Oh, I think it was Klaus, wasn't it? I can't find it in the chat, but somebody had written it in here. But yeah, that whole speech about him being around since the beginning of, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was sick.
That was sick.
That's what that was the light switch right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no,
Yeah.
you know who I am. You know who I am. Who are you really? Die. It's like shit.
Okay, so
One thing we haven't talked about. Oh, sorry. Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say Morfid, I believe is how it's pronounced.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
almost 5'4", and something
Wow,
online.
how tall is he?
It says 6'2", but then something else says 5'11". So,
Oh gosh.
so more
Just
likely,
go with 6,
more
but-
likely, yeah, he's right. He's right around 6 feet. So there's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
A bit of a difference between them.
There he says he'd been awake since before the first light, so he hasn't been away the same way as the stranger and hasn't been as addled and had to get used to the physical form. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's why I
okay.
think that he never went away. I don't think he came down. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think he came down.
Interesting.
he-
He's
I think he
just
was-
been
I thought he was
living on the
wounded.
world.
I think that Adar probably wounded him, and he had to scurry away. And then he turned. The orcs turned against him because Adar basically I'm your father.
Yeah.
I'm your father.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, when those two collide again, it's gonna be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, light blinded fool. She hasn't found the Ent drought yet. Exactly. And now Winespring gets that reference because she watched the extended editions, right?
Yes.
Yes.
There was so much more
I know.
in
There's
those.
I
like,
love them.
Like hours, 2 hours more of like.
It's a lot more, but I haven't watched
Content?
the extended edition myself.
I'm sorry.
I highly recommend it.
I haven't watched the extended edition.
I gave Winespring so much shit last time because she hadn't seen them. Or wait,
I
was
literally
it?
said it. I'm pretty sure I said it.
What's that?
Well, now you need
See,
to remedy it.
Yeah, but I remembered shit because I had read the books.
Oh, that wasn't the books. Yeah.
Okay.
That was part of the book, so I knew
need
what
to
was
read
going
the
on,
books.
but I just hadn't seen the scene because I didn't see the extended.
Oh my god. The extended editions all told, like for all three, it's like it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours longer than if there are just regular.
It was fun trying to remember which ones were the like extended edition scenes and which one were. Yeah.
That's why I have
Do that every
literally
once in a while.
Right.
no idea. Like now I could
Yeah.
not tell
Yeah, I
you.
bet not.
Because I've only
Yeah.
watched the extended editions since they came out. Like I haven't watched the theatrical versions. So.
Oh wow.
My wife will be watching Harry Potter or something on the TV. I'll come into the room and I'll be like, "What the fuck did that happen?" It'll be like some extended version.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those, so they'll have scenes that I've never seen. I said I've never seen that scene before in my life.
I didn't know they had extended for that either. Now it makes me want
There are some cut scenes that they've added back and it looks incredible.
Okay, Oliver Zito's got a
Yeah.
question for us. Do we expect a time jump?
Ooh.
I feel like
Man,
I
that is
don't.
my question too.
I don't need to see Nori and the Stranger, aka Gandalf, traveling unless something good happens. You know what I mean? Like,
It would be cool to see him and Roon together.
well, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
no, like
Getting
destination,
there,
the
but not
destination.
traveling.
Like, I'm not.
You don't need to see the dots on the map.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like we
Yeah.
got a fair amount of Harfoot travel this season.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I need much more, honestly.
Yeah.
I will say that I did love the line, "A journey you do alone, adventure is best with
Yes.
friends," or whatever.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
So good.
But we
Gotta go
could
on a
skip
t-shirt.
the actual adventure and just get us there.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and,
That's
See what
true.
happens there. Yeah.
and I guess it doesn't have to necessarily jump right into anything, because when you think about it, like, we're basically hoping to get to the next set of rings, presumably.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me that we would do one set per season, and then the final couple seasons will just be,
Mhm.
you know, the shit hitting the fan.
Yeah, really.
And so it doesn't have to happen right away, I wouldn't think, because, you know, if it's the dwarves or if it's the men, it could be whenever, kind of. Like, there's no big
Yeah.
rush, except for that Sauron's probably amassing, you know, an army or something.
Random person 8908. We have strong feelings about who the stranger is or the wizard.
Yeah.
They have
think
not.
it's
They have not
Gandalf.
come out and said it on the show.
They've hinted so
Not
hard
clearly.
because
So
It was a hard hint,
until
for
we
sure.
get proof where the credits say Gandalf,
Yeah.
we will
Until
continue to
IMDb
call him
changes
the
it to
stranger.
Gandalf.
I'll be calling him Gandalf. And if you're not sure why,
I tried that. I was wrong.
if you're not sure why, the reason is because in the episode he says to Nori, "When in
None.
doubt, follow your nose." Gandalf says the same thing in the Fellowship
Moria?
of the
Yep.
Ring in the Mines of Moria to the
Yes.
Fellowship. Essentially, he's sitting there and he like talks about he's sitting you know, the whole "I have no memory of this place." He eventually picks a path based on the smell and says, "When in doubt,
smell.
follow your nose." And so to me, that was like if you paid attention during the original trilogy, this is gonna be your big Easter egg that this is Gandalf. So
Yeah. Yeah.
anyways, that's all. I could have probably explained that quicker, but that was
So-
that was
No,
my
you did a
reasoning.
great job.
Does Gandalf not have healing powers?
I was just thinking that, but I don't think so, because I was like, he could
No,
have
he healed himself.
right.
I don't know if he could have done that to Sadok. It might have killed Sadok.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I was. Oh, and also we got the Moraine, scene, last episode that we didn't talk about.
Okay.
In which she is chasing Adar, and she leans down, and gives the horse extra oomph.
Oh yeah, she did. Yeah.
It's like,
Netherbeam, right? That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't Arwen do
Arwen
that
does that.
in the? Arwen does that in
She does
the
too.
movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the meme
Narrative.
reborn says, "How on earth could Adar have hurt Sauron? I mean, Adar didn't make him seem that formidable." And I think that's actually a really good question. Like, how could Adar have hurt Sauron?
Well, think about it. I mean, this is a guess. This is a complete guess to answer this
Okay.
question, but Dar seems pretty jacked up. He doesn't seem completely healthy, right?
But he doesn't seem like he has any magical powers.
He doesn't.
Oh, you go ahead, Tavern first. No.
I think that during the fight with Sauron, he got jacked up. I think he might have run Sauron, and this a total speculation. I'm pulling this out of my ass. But if they're going with the story the way they're putting it on the TV and the show, that might have something to do with it because he really doesn't look, like completely healthy.
I think rather than it being just like Adar besting Sauron, I think he like won the hearts and minds of the orcs. And so it's just kind of like a numbers, just a numbers game.
So you're saying he might have killed him hypothetically, like he basically killed his power over the orcs?
Well, that or like they could have just overwhelmed him, And
that's true.
And Adar laid the final blow. And somebody said, which makes sense. Oh, Nimhithril in the Twitch chat says, I think he used the smoky sword, and that sword is Morgoth's power imbued. So, Dooney Rona says his orc blood makes him strong. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons that frying pan from behind. There's a lot of ways he could have bested
classic frying pan.
It says Acme on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Acme, I gotta do the photos. All right, let's see.
His orc blood makes him strong. Well, technically, the elves have elf blood, or the orcs have elf blood. They were born of the elves, right? The first orcs were the elves, like Adar. Yeah.
So do we like the rings before we move on to the Numenoreans, which I think is last? There's not a ton with them, but
yeah, the rings look cool. They're
cool
kind of big, but they're cool again.
The one with the white stone.
That one's my favorite.
The diamond
doesn't look like it would sit on your ring. I mean, it's not a complete circle. It's kind of like comes up from the sides and the top. That thing looks like it would slip right off your finger.
I mean, it depends on the size. Like if it's like, I don't know.
You got chonky fingers, you're all right.
Or it's just I don't know.
What is this? Is that a symbol?
A symbol?
On the stone, like right above the three rings, there's a circle, like almost a perfect
circle. Like as they
weird.
turned the camera angles, it showed different symbols of stone.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, the rings look amazing.
Yeah. I don't
really dig the rings.
I find the gold ones to be a little gaudy for my taste, but I like the silver one.
Out of the gold ones,
the big silver one.
Out of the gold ones, I like the blue one because on either side, and I think on the bottom, it has 3 little gemstones that they've put into the actual band as well. And I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, I like the red one, so now we know which rings we're gonna get.
There we go.
Excellent.
That worked out really well.
Yeah.
So do y'all know what they do? So isn't like the red one fire, the blue one
is ice? No, I don't know what blue is.
It's water or air or something. Aren't there like different things the jewels do?
I don't. Okay, I mean, if you're an airbender or a bender of some sort,
yeah.
No, I think Avatar. Like in this world, I think something like that. Both.
Let me look it up because I know you're right and I don't want to get it wrong.
Damn it!
It's like fire, water, and air. I think.
That's wrong.
Makes sense.
Let's see. That's interesting.
If you're going by the color, it makes sense. Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, commentators have observed that the 3 rings enabled the elves to halt the passage of time within their realms. That's interesting.
That's funny. Cool. Sith guy said 2 more and we can summon Captain Planet.
Hey, Random Gnomon said Winespring, yes. So I think.
Oh, you cut out there for a second. But yeah, no, I think they are based on the elements or something. White, like
Random Gnomon said red is fire.
Fire.
Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Fire.
I swear to God, these articles sometimes are like recipes.
Blue is rain. And white is wind.
Is that really what it is?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's air. I think it's fire, water, and air.
You don't remember? You don't remember ends when they were playing rock, paper, scissors, and then Phoebe was like fire.
Oh my gosh, I do remember that.
And Joey was like, rain or whatever.
I'm not finding it.
Man,
I'm
good
leaving it off.
memory.
The rings go invisible when worn. Gandalf wears the red one the whole time during the Lord of the Rings. That's
They go
cool.
invisible? What?
That's cool. I could have sworn
I
we
think I
saw
saw that
Galadriel's
somewhere.
on the Fellowship. I could have sworn she was wearing it.
She did have it on. They showed it in her hand. They showed it on her hand.
Were they just revealing it to Frodo in some special way?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or it was
Sounds
inaccurate
like
because
something they
Peter
did.
Jackson's movies were not perfectly canon, just so we're all
It
aware.
wasn't Elrond didn't do that. That was Arwen that did that. Turned the river into horses.
Oh, not in the books.
Oh, in the movie.
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
Yep.
Gotcha.
People get so
Because
mad.
he's standing there. That's right. He shows up. Yeah.
I've done posts on TikTok like, man, I wish there were more women, in Lord of the Rings. And somebody was like, man, you know what I wish is that the actual guy who rescued Frodo got to rescue Frodo instead of Arwen. And I was like, so you want to get rid of more girl parts? Like you want to eliminate women from Lord of the Rings? Are you sure? Like, come on, fam.
Klaus wrote it down. Narya is the ring of fire. Nenya, the ring of adamant, which means you're just very forceful about shit. And the ring of air. You're very adamant about shit. So whenever you're wearing the ring, you're like, no, it really happened that way. I don't know what the hell.
Is that adamant or adamant?
Glorfindel, thank you. I couldn't
Adamant.
think of his name.
I don't think adamant, as in the singer adamant.
don't know.
Ooh, Jessica
feel
said,
like
good
that's
question.
something
Did we ever
secret.
pass the Bechdel test in season 1? I feel like we had to. I feel like Poppy and Nori had to, right?
The conversation about strawberries or whatever at the very beginning. There were no people
and
around.
wolves.
They talked to each
Yeah.
and wolves. That was it. Yeah, that was it.
So easy.
Mhm.
Episode 1. If I'm remembering it right. And also, Galadriel had some conversations with the Queen. Granted, they talked about the Queen's dad at one point, but I have to believe unless they were only talking about Sauron the whole time. I feel like that had to happen at some point, the Queen and Galadriel. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I should have watched out for it more closely. You know what movie I did watch just recently that definitely passes that I need to do a TikTok about? Black Swan.
What?
That movie is like 99%
Oh,
women.
wow.
And
Yeah.
so it
Man, that's
100%
old.
won. Anyways. Okay. We got
Okay, so light blinded, full clarified. Adamant is water.
Perfect.
So red was fire, the white was water, and the blue is air. Really interesting.
Nice.
Thanks, chat. You guys are awesome as always.
It's amazing.
Random
Chat,
moment
Can we
is a
just
good
give a
question.
round
I'll
of
have to-
applause to the chat? Round of applause to the chat.
They might have passed the critter test too. I'm trying to think of like the main.
The critter test.
Yeah.
What's
What is
the critter test?
It's on TikTok. It's half of the named characters have to be women, half at least.
Oh,
And
I like that.
Is it though? Are they?
I'm thinking like the Harfoots might put us over the edge with that.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Maybe because there's
True,
like a lot
'cause
of women in the Harfoots.
Right, because in Numenor you have two.
to name
Queen
3.
Regent and
and the daughter. Sorry, yeah, I was
the
thinking
daughter, so
girl.
that's 2. From the elves you have Galadriel. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty
Yeah.
Then so let's see the Harfoots. We have Malva, Poppy, Nori, Marigold.
Good job,
And
Tavern.
then the guys are basically Sadok and the dad.
and the dad.
Yeah.
So
That's it. So that makes up for it, I think.
yeah,
you're right.
you didn't name like. There's more named dudes in the Numenoreans. I think the Numenoreans might screw
Oh yeah,
us.
yeah. We didn't do Landil.
Tarzan.
You know what? I doubt it passes the critter test. Now that I'm thinking of it, I think there's too many dude
Yeah.
Numenoreans that have names and too many Southlanders that have names, and all of
4.
the bad guys are men. So it's I don't
Yeah.
think we got
we
it.
didn't count what's his face Halbrand either. No, definitely don't, because there's 4 Numenorean males: Farazan, Elendil, 5. Isildur, Verland. What's his name?
There's the two
Valandir
the two warrior
Yeah,
friends,
Valandir?
and
Yeah,
the son,
and
Valandir.
Antimo.
Antimo. Those are the only.
Antimo.
That's it.
and
That's
the
5.
dad
Yeah.
or the
I already
king.
counted him.
Elendil. Yeah.
King.
Yeah, but did
And
they
the
name
king.
the king?
I think so. Yeah, she says she's
They
his
did. I
daughter.
don't remember
Yeah,
it.
so he's got a name.
I don't really count the king because he's got so few lines that it really.
He's named though. I don't know.
He did
man.
something
Okay,
important in
right.
this last episode,
Right,
though.
He
which we
did.
need to talk about. So no, I don't think it passed the
let's get
Critter
to it.
test, unfortunately. We
Let's
learned.
get to it. Get to the
Do
humans.
better. Do better next season, you guys.
Do better next season.
Better. Yeah, you suck.
You
people.
did. It was an improvement on, dear God, the Hobbit, the Hobbit movies. Like that was just.
Oh, yeah.
Like there
Oh
was
my
one
gosh.
woman, I think, or two, I guess, if you
Yeah.
count Galadriel, and yeah, Jessica said I fuck those Numenoreans in particular. Agreed. All right, so speaking of the Numenoreans, which I think is all we have left, right?
Yes, that is true.
How do we feel about this plot? Where we're at? Anybody have any big thoughts about them?
Let's see. So they're arriving and they're seeing the black flags, right?
The king has
So
died, right?
that's how they find out that the king has died.
Yeah.
He hasn't
Before the
told her.
king died, yeah, that's gonna be
Hasn't told her.
interesting.
That's how that ended.
What does that mean as far as the power vacuum goes for the
Now we see the
Queen
battle.
Regent?
Yeah, we see the
Yeah,
battle
and
between
Farazan.
Farazan. Yeah,
Farazan's
Yeah.
gonna
the battle that comes up next.
Come in hot.
Because he's stayed back, and you know he has not been idle. Like
Ew.
during this time that she's been gone, he's setting everything up.
Yeah.
He's ready to take control. I bet.
And what's the deal with Isildur's sister?
What do you mean?
She's kind of, I don't know how to take her. Sometimes she looks like she's plotting against people, and then other times she's just there, and it's kind of, I don't know.
Well, something happened here when he like thought that she was Muriel and like
Yeah.
showed
Oh, no, yeah.
the Palantir to her, and now she's like, what do y'all think she saw? Like the big wave, or
Possibly, if that's what they're seeing. But remember, she was kind of she was on Farazan's side the last few episodes. She didn't want Isildur to go or whatever.
That's true.
And he went.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's a toss-up with her.
Mhm.
I don't know what to think of her, but if she went to the Palantir, and if
She did.
and if Galadriel and what is the Queen Regent's name? Muriel? No.
Yeah.
What's the Queen Regent's name?
Isn't it
Muriel?
Yeah, Muriel.
Okay. If they saw the wave, chances are that's probably what she's going to see too.
Yeah.
If they follow suit. And so I will be honest, in that scene that you had with the ships, well, not that one. You had the ships coming in, but they had another scene. I don't know if there's one with all the ships in the harbor.
Yeah, I think I got one with Harbor.
Let me see.
Started counting ships.
Mhm.
Yeah, because there were a lot in the harbor.
It wasn't. I started counting ships for a different reason. There's like 6 there, plus the one they're on is 7. We're doing full spoilers, right? We don't care. From the books?
I mean,
Yeah,
we
it's full
don't
spoilers,
want to
sure.
know like what's gonna happen in the show. Like we're not gonna give
No.
away what's gonna happen in the show.
Okay, so I know that the number of 9 ships is very important when it comes to Numenoreans. I'll leave it at that.
Why is that?
I can't
Is that
spoil it
something
for
we-
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if there were 9 ships here, it would be really important, is what you're saying.
There might be. I don't know, but I mean, I only see 6. Plus the one they're on is 7. So I was counting. I was looking for 9 ships, because it's something that happens. I think it's in the Silmarillion.
Okay.
It's a vague memory, so I'm not sure if I'm right or not.
Mhm.
And to answer random Nomen, yes, they did talk about the black sails, and basically they were talking about the king, that when he passes,
Yeah.
there'll be black sails across the harbor or the bay or whatever the hell they called
Mhm.
it. And so when they pull in, that's what they see.
That's what they see. Yeah.
Yeah. It was my understanding that it was just basically like flags at half mast or whatever. It was
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Morning.
Yep.
Mhm.
Because it's not just on the ships; you can see it on the walls, all throughout the city. You see the black.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Do we think it's gonna be like a full blown civil war with hair, or is it gonna be like a gaslighting, like you can't do this because you're blind now, sort of a situation?
Oh, I hope it's not that, but I could definitely see that last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're blind, you're not competent to lead anymore,
Not
kind of thing.
strong
That
enough.
that'd be rough.
That would be
Yeah.
really rough.
Yeah, the chat's talking
Yeah.
about that right now, about a split, and I think I concur that there's probably going to be a split, because you remember the Queen Regent said that she was definitely coming back to help,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh yeah. So the
And Farazan
king
doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And the king says to Erenin, I think is how you said her name, when he thought that she was Queen Muriel,
The sister,
he says, "I know what you've been doing, sneaking around in the night." Like, what is he talking about with that?
Yeah.
Like, what is she doing in the night that he is remembering?
I think he's been catching Farazan having meetings in the only place that nobody can hear him, thinking that he's comatose, but I don't know. Possible. There's definitely going to be a power struggle.
It's interesting.
I love how they pulled a Matt in this. I say pulled a Matt, but the foretelling that he gave her, which says, "Don't go, you'll bring only darkness."
Yeah.
Or you'll only find darkness. And she came back blind.
Oh my gosh! Look at that.
I was like,
good catch.
Man, that was so.
Yeah. He also says, if the old ways of Numenor are not restored, our island will fall. And then she's going to go in there and see this wave, this tidal wave coming in. And then she's going to tell Farazan and information against Queen Muriel and Elendil for helping the.
I don't know why
elves.
she reminds me of Eliza. Not Eliza. What the hell is that? Was it Eliza? Atlan Stark's sister.
Really?
In the Eyrie, just her face.
Huh.
Face and the way her hair is set up. Yeah, that gives me that vibe.
I would never have put that together. I actually saw a movie that she was in recently.
Really?
Oh, nice.
The Witch. Yeah, not her. The
the one from yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one from Game of Thrones.
That was such a weird episode.
That would be interesting. Like Farazan stays behind with the people who don't want to fight for the elves and the Southlanders or whatever, and everybody else bails, and then eventually we get Elendil as the king. It's an interesting
and the big title.
Oh, that's how he could become the king. Wow.
And the big title.
Because he's like a big deal king. Like, I didn't realize how much of a big deal him and Isildur were until watching the Lord of the Rings movies recently, and they're referenced like multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, they become pretty big deals. Yeah.
I mean, they fought Sauron's armies alongside the elves.
Mm-hmm.
Elendil.
So we know we're going to see some of that.
See Elendil get killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
See,
and Isildur get the ring.
Right, and then we see Isildur fail.
Yeah.
Big fail.
Again, he does that a lot, it looks like.
And then he gets jumped, and the ring falls into the water.
So much happens. It's fascinating.
It is.
So I guess let's see, is there anything else we need to talk about?
That's a good question, Jessica.
That is a good question, Jessica. Is he king or king consort for marrying Muriel? Could he marry her?
I think he's just...
I guess if he did, that would make him king consort.
Depending on their laws,
That's a good point.
Who knows?
Yes, it is, Dooney.
The One Ring is often called Isildur's Bane. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brought about his freaking demise, yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, right.
Isildur, throw it in!
Cast it into the fire! Destroy it! No. I love that scene so much. Okay, so I don't know, nothing else really on the Numenorean side. We'll see what happens with them, huh?
I think no. All they did was sailed back to Numenor.
Okay, so big predictions, biggest predictions for next season. Anybody have any thoughts?
Predictions?
Yeah. We're gonna see the Civil War. I keep doing air quotes. I don't know. I've been watching She-Hulk too much. We're definitely gonna see the battle for Numenor. I think, right? Mm-hmm. Between Muriel's faction and Farazan's. I think that's going to happen. It's going to have to, because I think that storyline where we end up with Gondor and all that stuff needs to start taking place. I think we may see confrontation between Adar and Sauron.
That's the one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
that's gonna be nasty.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm not really sure where the elves and the dwarves stand right now. You know what I mean? So I really wanted to see more of that relationship and more of that arc. We didn't get any more after the big split, which I completely understand because they had to focus more on the rings and
Kind of sucks we didn't get any Durin and Disa, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Critter brought up something really important earlier when she said, there were different times where a story really peaked or sparked throughout, and I think they did a really good job of rotating all of those things, because there was never an episode where there wasn't one of the arcs that was peaking. Right?
Yeah, oh for sure. Yeah, they did a great job.
They did a really good job
Yeah.
of spacing that out. So I'm kind of stuck. I said on the dwarves and the elves. The elves in general, I don't know where they go from here. They've got their rings, so I don't know where they go. But I think those two other confrontations are going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Winespring?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Sauron and Adar going at it. Two bad guys we don't really like either. That'll be interesting to see how they put that on the screen for us. And then I'm also interested to see how Sauron convinces or plays the men, the Kingdom of Men, to make their rings, and the dwarves too. Like, hopefully we'll see one of those next season.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't think it's going to take much to turn them in.
Yeah, at least half of them pretty quickly.
No, I think we're getting dwarves like highlighted. Like, we're getting dwarf rings next season, and it makes sense for multiple reasons. We got teed up with the Durin fight, right?
That's true. I forgot all about that. You're right.
Yeah.
We got teed up there, and so I think we're ready for that confrontation to happen. Either Durin dies and Durin takes over, or something else. And then we get some rings, and there's a Balrog down there. Like, that could be a really cool final arc for the season, I guess. Maybe the Balrog coming out.
With Balrog,
could be. I mean, it might be early, but I mean, we know it's awake, so what's it waiting for, But somebody did mention in the chat that, like, if Durin takes over for his dad, he might restart the mithril mining, and then they'll start digging.
Yeah, we brought that up last
definitely
week.
Deeply,
Balrog.
and then that would get the Balrog, and then we make the rings. So yeah, I'm hoping for more dwarves for sure, and it makes sense because, like, in the grand scheme of things, elves were the first children of oh my gosh, I can't think of his name now. Iluvatar, and then dwarves, even though they were created before the elves, they woke up after the elves because they weren't supposed to be created in the first place. And so it would kind of be fitting for the elves to come first, and then the dwarves, and then men, especially because men are probably the most easily corruptible.
That's how they say it in the whole thing, right? They always mention the elves, the dwarves, and then the men.
It all makes sense in that vein. So I'm hoping dwarf heavy. We love Disa. We love Durin. Like, I love Elrond with them. So I'm hoping that happens.
Keep hearing dinging.
Dinging? It's not. I don't think that's me.
No, I'm getting something. Messages or something somewhere.
Okay, I thought it was me playing with my fidget spinner.
No, I was sitting there going, ding, ding, what the hell's happening? Like I said, don't forget to hit the like button.
Agni says hi.
We got some pretty amazing people in chat right now.
Meow meow.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts, everybody.
That I haven't met.
We're gonna wrap this up.
Ooh.
My final thought. I was gonna tell you all that we are taking a minor hiatus because Tavern's going to Vegas. I will be on Dragon Mount's rewatch of episode 2 of The Wheel of Time next week, Monday evening, so check that out. I'll be over on Dragon Mount, and then
I'll be there.
And
then I go to Vegas the week after that, so I won't be around.
And then the week after that, I'll be in Charleston for the Michael Livingston Origins of the Wheel of Time book signing.
Exciting!
I know. In the meantime, though, keep your eye on my YouTube channel and my socials, because I've got some vidges, like some pre-recorded stuff coming out. I have 2 friends who have now read book 1 and 2 of the Wheel of Time, so I'm going to do a first-time reader interview with them for the first 2 books.
Nice.
And I also have my ultimate review / why I really enjoyed the Wheel of Time show as a whole coming out. I've already filmed it. I just have to edit it. So be looking forward to some of that stuff. It's coming out soon. Okay, final thoughts, Winespring, go ahead.
Final thoughts, Rings of Power was a success. I think they did a great job, and I'm looking forward to... I think they did a wonderful job.
Love that. Tavern?
Just to clear something up, I'm not going on vacation to Vegas. It's for work. We got bought out by another company, and they're out of Vegas, so we're going in there to work. But I will try to be arrested if possible.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll start the GoFundMe for his bail for sure.
So
There we go.
Winespring and Kritter, I have an idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Depending on what information we get for the Wheel of Time, right?
Okay.
How about we do some research and do a show? Every scene, Rings of Power, that was mirrored from Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit.
That's a pretty good idea.
All the hidden scenes that were basically mirror images of that. I think that would be cool. So somebody let's see. Final thoughts. Love the pivot to do other SFF stuff and doing this stuff with y'all. So yeah, I mean, I think about as we go forward, when we have Wheel of Time stuff, we'll have Wheel of Time stuff. Now we have Rings of Power that we can do for next season, I think. And if another show pops up that we want to pivot to, I think I'm all in. So
yeah,
there's
we'll
precedent now for the pivot.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyways.
Pivot champions.
Okay, well, thank you all for being here and putting up with us while we pivoted, and we'll be back. Okay, keep your eye on our socials. We will let you know when we're coming. Thank you, guys.
Hit the like button.
Love you,
Bye.
Chad.
Hit the like button. Okay,
Like
bye.
button. Bye.